passionate instigator and dynamic problem solver, Dr. Kevin Ross Emery, the host of the Dr. Kevin Radio Show, will be taking you outside the box, behind the curtain, and identifying the load of BS we are fed every day. And now, Dr. Kevin.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Dr. Kevin Show, where we challenge everything and everyone. We are here today on this, the third Thursday of the month, with my partner in crime, my cohort in chaos, the co-host of the Web of Light Show, and so much more. We're here with none other than Angie Dianju. Angie, how are you?
Hey, I'm Dr. Kevin. I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
Good, good, good. We, there's a lot going on in the world today. I do want to I do want to start by telling our viewers that they can, first of all, you can come to facebook.com/mydrkevin. Make sure you like the page when you do that. With that, you can look for today's issue and today's show, which is going to be listed any minute now because I realized that it didn't transfer over and I don't know why. And you can comment there, and we will read that comment on the air, as long as it's acceptable. We do have a few things we can't say or would choose not to say on air. Or you can call in. It is a live call-in show. Now, if you are listening to this, and it is a replay, and we'll say at the beginning that it's a replay, then you can still go to mydrkevin.com. You can still put a comment down. And you and I, meaning Miss Angie and I, will respond to your question. But if you want to call in, because it is Thursday night between 6 and 7 Eastern Standard Time, and be part of this conversation, you can call in at 202-570-7057. That's 202-570-7057. And when we do that, we'll let you come on air and join us and talk about all this wonderful stuff we're going to talk about. So before we get into any hard conversations, what is exciting going on in your world these days, Miss Angie?
Myself, I actually am getting ready for our events. And other than that, I'll be spending some time in Vermont this weekend. Having a little birthday party up there for my sister-in-law. And other than going into the great woods of Vermont, kind of battening down the hatches and enjoying life for the fullest at my home.
Okay.
How about yourself?
Well, there you go. Well, getting ready for the Web of Light Expo, September 30th, October 1st at Great Bay Community College in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. As we're working, getting ourselves a few, a little over 100 vendors, 15 readers, and 20 presentations. For many of you who may have gone to the Web of Light Expo Earth Day weekend in Nashua, we're having a few of the same people, but we're having quite a few different ones as well, aren't we, Angie?
We are.
Yeah.
So we have that Web of Light Expo, but we also have, I'm going to be October 7th, I'll be having a small psychic fair at the Hampton Inn in Nashua, New Hampshire. As always, I'm with the American Legion at the end of October. However, we are going to be doing some classrooms and workshops here at that wonderful Wolf Center that you have created, Dr. Kevin, here in Hudson, New Hampshire.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up at the Wolf Center. And for those of you who, aren't aware, I don't know how you couldn't be, but yes, Angie and I have partnered on creating the Wolf Center as part of the Web of Light Foundation. The Wolf Center is here to help people move and grow and move forward in their life. I'm actually going to post a list of all of the different things going on this feed once I get straightened out why it hasn't posted, as I'm looking around and spending my traditional daily moments in technical hell. But outside of that, we do have some great classes coming up, and we're going to review some of those classes a little bit and talk about them so people will know what's happening, especially if they live in the area. Where I would like to start, however, today is what happened in Charlottesville. We're going to start out with a heavy subject.
That's the beginning, huh? The heavy subject.
We're going to start with a heavy subject before we go on our first break.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time we come back from that, hopefully we will be able to go over what's going on in the Healing Center. But so Charlottesville, what do you think the message is? What do people need to take away from this?
What do they need to take away from this?
Yeah.
That they have to get involved with their community before it gets demolished by the wrong, they have to realize that the country that is a melting pot, and as a melting pot, which is what we were as a country of, there's no room for any Nazis, there's no room for white supremacy, because the melting pot is exactly what it is. It's everybody coming together, speaking their truth, allowing them to have freedom of speech, no matter what race, color, creed, all of that is, and not having to worry that somebody is going to take you out because of the color of your skin or the way you look at racism. And the only way you fix that is you start to communicate with people and you start getting involved with what's going on in your community.
Well, and I think that community involvement, in this case, the hate was shipped in. And I think that in itself, needs to be looked at, that, we have this roving group that are preaching hate and judgment and violence as their God-given right, and it wasn't even. Everybody in that community could have been sitting down and having dinner every night, and saying Hail Marys together, and dancing at the moonlight, whatever, and still, the hate got shipped in.
Yeah.
The hate was shipped in.
And that's a sad thing. But, okay, I don't know if I want to go that far, but with the morality of our nation right now being embedded with negativity, it's like it comes from our leaders. Our leaders cannot keep allowing the American public to be denounced by 54. You look at this and you say to yourself, if you are the leader of the American public, it's just like a father. If your child is doing something wrong, you correct it, but you see all the goodness and you bring that to the front and center. And it's the same thing with our leaders. We have a leader right now that, he tore apart New Hampshire. Anybody he speaks of, it's always in the negative, unless it's somebody that's doing him a favor. And everybody's listening to all this negativity. And, of course, where you have negativity builds. So people have to start voicing out their positive and reflect on what they truly want to see around them in their communities. And I don't feel that the majority of the people here in this nation really want to see what's going on right now.
Yeah. I think that there is a lot of choosing a blind eye going on right now. And people are not making excuses when there are no excuses to support hate. And, there's a lot of people out there that are trying to find excuses to say what was said from the Oval Office was okay, and it wasn't okay. And then the staff, his handlers, let's face it, his handlers tried to dig him out of the thing, and he jumped right back in the ditch even deeper than before.
Yeah.
And now he's attacking the mayors who were. Now, I have an issue, and we're going to be going to break in a minute, but I do have an issue with what's happening with those statues, and we can talk about that when we get back. But on the other hand, saying hate's okay is not okay. And it's not okay when it's coming from the highest office in the land, that message is.
Right.
And he dived right back in it, and he showed his true colors. And I don't know. I think we're going to be going on break in a second. I'm looking at the time. I'm waiting for the music to start. But I think that people need to look at this, and they need to understand, and they need to hold him accountable to the fact that these were his statements. This was not fake news. This wasn't made up to make him look bad. He does it all on his own.
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes. Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake.
Tune in to the Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Mother, Mother Ocean.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Buffett. West Indian manatees are one of the most unique animals on Earth, and we're still finding out so many new things about them. But manatees are endangered, and many of them are killed or injured each year because of watercraft collisions or other human activities. You can help save these gentle marine mammals. For free tips on what you can do, call Save the Manatee Club at 1-800-432-JOIN. Thank you.
So, hello and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show. I'm here on the third Thursday with my partner in crime, my cohort of chaos, my co-hostess of mostest with the Web of Light Show, Angie D'Anjou. We are talking about what happened in Charlottesville, the building of a stronger local community, though we don't know that would have stopped Charlottesville from happening since the hate was imported. And what kind of messages are we getting about what's okay and what's acceptable coming right from our own White House? And is that okay? If you would like to be part of this conversation, you can call 202-570-7057. That's 202-570-7057. Or you can go to facebook.com/mydrkevin, MYDRKEVIN. Make sure you like me when you're there, and you can leave your comment under today's posting. One of the things is we are looking at the fact also that one thing that has come to the surface, and I'm trying to verify it as much as I can, but that it does look like that Donald Trump's father was arrested in a KKK brawl with cops in 1927.
Aye.
There's no proof that he was a member or a supporter, but there was an article published in the New York Times in 1927 that a man with the name and address of Donald Trump's father was arraigned after a Klan members attacked cops in Queens. His father only would have been 21.
Oh, you mean?
Huh?
You have a KKK member right inside of his cabinet.
Who is that?
I don't think that's a big surprise. I'm trying to think of his name. I have to go back and look. I can't remember. I'm bad with names. But one of the people that are under him in the White House right now has had a lot of associations with KKK. And I'm sorry that I'm not good with the names, but it is a known factor. It's not something that's a lost fact. It's true to its colors. But regardless, right now, if you look at all of this, like I said, all of this Twitter stuff where, let's face it, like you wanted to get rid of the Obamacare and then they didn't pass it, the replacement. And he denounced all the Senates as fools and total quitters. Who does that to their government officials?
Yeah.
In front of open doors. And and that's a constant. He always puts everybody down, and I don't feel that, everything that everybody hears is always something about down, and it shouldn't be like that. I mean, McCain is one of the ones that was very rambunctious about, what was to be and what was not to be. And you're talking about McCain, a person who has gone through war, has a good moral ethic. And you're going to compare that to what we have? And you're going to call someone like McCain a fool and a total quitter, or it's like, what's wrong with that picture?
Oh, yeah. And he called out, he's called out Lindsey Graham, and he's called out several people for a number of different reasons. He picks fights with his own party as much as he almost picks fights with others. And, I think that there's just more evidence here that, that builds up to the fact that he's a narcissist. He is just a narcissist.
But, the people, this is a wake-up call for America, though. A wake-up call for America and the people to start realizing that they need to become involved. And truly, as much as some of them say, oh, well, what just happened? I never want to vote again. No, you need to go out there and you need to find the people that will run for these offices. And yes, you need to vote. You can't sit stagnant, just watch this happen.
And there are crucial changes that need to be happening in our government and what's allowed and the way that people are allowed to run. And I think that is also quite evident.
Definitely.
And
yes, that is definitely true. But at the same time right now, people have to bring in the positive because this negative is going to just deplete us. So
absolutely.
Something has to give.
And sometimes the whole thing is that we are, this is a man who is a master of the shell game. He is slipping executive orders and all sorts of things through that if he wasn't kicking up so much horrible dust with these outrageous comments and these attacks and stuff like this, that he is systematically like selling parklands to corporations, and he's doing all sorts of other stuff that is not even getting mentioned because the stuff he does is so outrageous. There's, again, he's a master at the shell game, and I think that, and that we're going to find out that there has been so much damage that he slipped through that because not enough people could keep track of all of the antics, all of the shenanigans, and he's dazzling you with his right hand while he is dismantling rights, and he is overturning stuff and doing all sorts of stuff with the left hand. And this is part of what makes him so dangerous, and is sad and is upsetting. And I go back to what I said when I did the show Surviving the Trump Presidency. You've got to decide the 2 or 3 issues that are important to you, and then you have to ride them, and you have to make sure everybody knows what's happening in those issues. Because if not, it's like standing in front of the train, standing on the train track, watching the train coming down, and you're so mesmerized you don't move and the train hits you. And that's what he's doing. So why are environmentalists not pushing the stuff out that he's doing with the park systems more? Why are these different groups, pulling these things and these stunts?
Didn't he get rid of the environmentalists? I thought he closed down the EPA.
No, he hasn't actually closed it down, but he's just neutered it as much as he can.
And I will say that I have seen articles that some of those that were part of the neutering are actually doing research on their own to continue the studies because they care.
Well, now, I'm sure you're aware of this. We have the KKK is coming to Boston.
Oh, yeah. And, I think Boston is actually handling it very well. I'm very happy. I've been watching that a lot because that does concern me. But they are making it very, very strictly handled as to the fact that no firearms may be held, no sticks, no rocks, no anything. And I do believe that they will kind of keep it pretty well controlled. I pray.
Yep. Well, obviously they're looking at doing
Boston
everything they
actually,
can to not repeat it.
But in Boston, what it is it's a gathering of people who want to voice their opinions. It's like all voices matter. However, all of these groups have threatened that they are going to come and stomp around. And Boston has already told them that they're not welcome. So,
yep.
We'll see what goes on.
Yep. We're going to have to keep an eye and see what goes on. I was actually surprised. I saw a list of registered hate groups. There's one actually in Nashua where I taped this show out of. And there's 2 or 3 in the state of New Hampshire, and there's I can't remember how many in Massachusetts, and there's 1 in Maine, but they're and they're saying things like make white privilege great again. And it's like, why? Because only whites deserve to be privileged? Like, what's up with that? Why is it not about making humans privileged again? That it's a privilege to be a human, to be a good human, to use all of these creative talents and gifts that you get and all of this divine energy we're born with. There's so much good we could be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And why, this is just it's very heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking.
Yes,
but
it
it
is.
also shows us how disenfranchised and angry and unheard this whole segment felt like until they got their man in office.
Yeah.
And now that their man is in office, violence has gone up. But what do you expect?
Mm-hmm.
Angie, he encouraged violence at his own rallies.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Now, I don't know if you heard or not.
But we already, people saw that, but I don't know. I did not realize that we had so many that were so attuned into having violence in this nation.
Yep, we do. We do. And it's because they have been led to believe that they should be somehow allowed to be privileged, and other people should pay for those rights.
Yeah. I wrote something the other day on my post that I do, which I don't think I've ever, honestly, this is the first year that my posts actually go a little on the political side. And prior to that, I do go political, but not to the extent I have this year. But one of the things I realize that is it's a big...
Oh, and there's the sound. So we'll get back to Angie's post when we get back, and then we're going to talk about what's coming up at the Wolf Healing Center, and we'll be right back.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Aloha, my name is Jennifer O'Neill, and I'd like to invite you to come join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time for my show, Spirit Chat. Spirit Chat focuses on simplifying the process of using the spiritual tools and gifts you were born with in a way that fits into your everyday life. I also teach different techniques that will help you learn how to navigate the spirit realm and empower you on your own spiritual journey. So join me this Wednesday as I guide you through the spirit world.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than four walls and a roof. It's that porch swing and a summer evening. It's everybody over for Sunday dinner and your family sleeping in their own beds at night. Making Home Affordable is a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Call 888-995-HOPE or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show, where we challenge everything and everyone. Today, so far, we've been talking about what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, and how maybe we can shift and change it, and what is our political system doing to encourage this violence. Angie, before we move on to some stuff coming up at the Web of Light Center, you said that you had written or posted something, and we ran out of time. I do want to remind people 202-570-7057 is our live call-in number, or come to facebook.com/MyDrKevin, and you'll see all of this posted at the top. Go for it.
Yeah, so anyway, my post was pretty much, I posted a piece that was talking about how there's been so much about putting immigrants out of this nation because they're not good for our nation. It takes our jobs, I mean, there's been so much. And a lot of people are having a hard time having immigrants come in here to even come to visit. However, it's like, you know what? We should change it around. Instead of throwing the immigrants out, maybe these people can find an island that they can live on. Because I would prefer to have an immigrant who does work for us than to have somebody who thinks that they're too big for anyone to be around them other than the white people. And that, I pretty much wrote that.
Well,
so for me to write that, it's, you know, I that's not something I would normally write, but it has brought me to that. You know, white supremacists, Nazism, go find an island and allow all the immigrants to come in because they do nothing like these people are doing. At least they respect that factor that everybody has equality.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Dr. Kevin? You think they should change it around instead of getting rid of immigrants? We can get rid of the white supremacists, the neo-Nazis.
Well, I think that, yeah. I mean, if you don't have the courage to be part of the home of the land of the home of the brave and the land of the free, it's the land of the free for everyone, not just free if you're white. And right. I think that if our model of inclusion and bringing people come to the shores doesn't work, you need to find a different place to live. So I agree. Maybe it needs to be an island. Maybe they need to go. Maybe we need to ship them to Russia or China. Maybe they'd like that better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all about shipping. If you don't like that everybody in this country has been guaranteed to have the same rights and is just as a valid member of this society as you are, then you're in the wrong place. Get out. Get out. So I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. So we've got some exciting things coming up at the Healing Center. And you know, one of the things is that I'm going to go over some of these things we've got coming up at the Healing Center. And the Healing Center is the Wolf Healing Center. It is in Hudson, New Hampshire. And if you come to weboflight.com, WEBOFLIGHT, weboflight.com, and there's a floating wolf head that says Healing Center, you can find out more information on all of these classes, what they are doing, and how to get involved with them if you would like to.
Yep.
So as we kind of go through some of these classes, I'm going to stop and let Angie talk a little bit about some of hers. I'm going to talk about some of mine, and we'll both talk about some of what some of our other teachers are doing. We start our fall lineup September 6th, the Wednesday after Labor Day, how to easily manifest your goals with our Web of Light astrologer, Dorothy Morgan. You don't need to know astrology to do this one. You can just have to provide your chart and your information, and then she gears the class towards the people's charts that are there. Again, that's 6:30 to 8:30 at night, September 6th. How to easily manifest your goals with Dorothy Morgan. September 8th is our full moon drumming circle. As close to every Friday that's closest to the full moon, more or less is how we try to do it. We have a full moon drumming circle with Reiki Master Jeff Beeland, who includes both an energy work circle, meditation, as well as drumming. On September 12th, and the full moon drumming circle, and this next one, Angie's Intuitive Practice Gathering, are both monthly regular events, so I'm not going to read them every month. You just need to know they happen every month. Angie, you want to take a second and talk about Angie's Intuitive Practice Gathering?
Oh, yes. We have a wonderful time when we come together. What that is if you have some intuitive abilities, or you are, and really these are practitioners or people who have some abilities who would like to exchange readings, exchange services, just to practice. And some people, they start to come into learning intuitive ways, and they need a little practice, or they need to have a few people to, talk with about certain things, and this is the place to be. So if anybody's interested, we just come together. It's a mutually enjoyable group. Nobody's above anybody. Everybody is at the same space. But we do share with each other our ideas and thoughts and practice our pieces. It's a good time.
Okay.
So it actually lasts for about 2 hours, and we just have an enjoyable evening.
September 13th, 27th, October 11th, and 25th, 6:30 to 9:30, the Psychic Development Series with none other than moi, the wonderful and fabulous Dr. Kevin, if I do have to say so myself. I have been teaching the Psychic Development Series for over 25 years. I've had people that are actually out working with their psychic as part of their job, part of the work they do, that have come in and taken this class. I recently had a class where over half the people were already working with their psychic, and not only were they told me at the end that they were happy with the class, that they want me to get my advanced class scheduled because they want to take it. It's about 75% hands-on, so there's a lot of kinesthetic. Psychic's like a muscle. You need to be able to use it to strengthen it. But I go over a number of different kinds of psychic abilities, talk about cosmic laws, dispel some myths around psychic, and make psychic and invite you to understand and better develop your psychic. September 19th, we have, again, this happens, and Angie does this both in the morning version and a night version, and that's our Empath Monthly Support Group. Angie, you want to talk about that a little bit?
That's another nice of our gathering groups. We get together, and it's people, and it doesn't have to be somebody who's truly knowing that they're an empath. If somebody feels that they're feeling energy, that type of feeling where you walk in a room and you feel that there's been some tenseness in there, or you walk around and you can feel somebody's sickness or even the world issues that are going on now. If they really stress you out and you feel all unnerved over it, you may be an empath. This is a place where everybody conjures together to support each other, to help each other cope through some of the more negative pieces that they have to deal with, especially in these times where you're attacked by much more negativity. So this is something that brings in the positive and helps people to, be balanced with their empathic abilities. And all are welcome.
Okay, so moving right along from there, the next thing we have another class that is by our Web of Light astrologer, Dorothy Morgan, called What is Your Soul Here to Do? Again, you don't need to know astrology to do that, but part of registering for the class is you submit your astrology information. That's September 20th, 6:30 to 8:30. What is your soul here to do with Dorothy Morgan? On the 21st, we have a mandala meditation with Shambhala. And with that one, I'm going to turn it over to Angie, because that's an Angie class.
Actually, this is a class that helps you start to understand the principles of Shambhala. Many people are unaware of these, and they're very simple, basic, and I'm actually going to be doing a classroom with the basics of the principal basics of Shambhala. However, this is a meditation technique that I work with, and I train people in that helps them to ease their day, create positive reflection of things that are around them, open up to allowing progress in all that they do and expansion. It's a great way of building your own self-esteem. It's a great way of building whatever it is that you're dreaming to do. So it's a little bit different than a regular meditation because it comes into Shambhala energy, which is the energy of love and light, and it brings us into our self-awareness. So please join us, and if you enjoy that, that's the precursor to kind of like seeing if you're really interested in the principles of the Shambhala, which will be put on later in the month, I believe, for the next month coming. But yeah, everyone's welcome to join. You don't have to have any prior experience in anything. Just come and enjoy.
Okay, and then on September 22nd, there'll be one in the morning and one at night. There's a new moon meditation. So we have the full moon drumming circle halfway through the month, and a new moon meditation halfway through the month, depending on, I should say halfway through the moon cycle and halfway through the moon cycle. Do you want to talk a little bit about this new moon meditation, Ange?
The new moon meditation that I do, we generally do it during the new moon. So, of course, because it's the new moon, that's opening up to new prospects, new things that we want to develop. Most people release on the full moon and they open up to new possibilities on the new moon. And so most of the meditations are around, it's usually themed by what the month is all about, what's going on at that point of time with that new moon. And each month is a little bit more inspirational in regards to helping you to process building yourself to a stronger pathway in anything that you want or desire to have in front of you. It helps the people to understand how to utilize the new moon cycles in order to build their prosperity and to build their own self-esteem. Again, that was one of my basic pieces, is to bring people into empowerment. So come and join us. There's no prerequisites for that. Just come on down and check it out.
Okay, so we have the next thing we have is going to be in October. Our music is going to come any minute now. I'm going to see if I can get this in before it does, and if not, I'll pick it up afterwards. That's October 4th, 18th, November 1st, and November 15th. Astrology, let's start from the beginning. Dorothy Morgan, Web of Light astrologer.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Every 2 minutes, an American is sexually assaulted. The majority of victims know their attacker. It could be your friend, your neighbor, or someone you met at a party. If you said no, it's rape, and it's a crime. This is Christina Ricci with RAIN. Call the National Sexual Assault Hotline today at 1-800-656-HOPE or visit RAIN.org. That's RAINN.org.
Brought to you by RAIN and this station.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the last segment of the Dr. Kevin Show, where we challenge everything and everyone. I'm here this week on the third Thursday of the month with Angie D'Anjou, my cohort of chaos, my co-partner in Web of Light, Wolf Healing Center, and in the Web of Light TV show. We were just reviewing some of what was coming up. Just before we went on off air, I was talking October 4th, 18th, November 1st, and 15th. Astrology, let's start from the beginning with Dorothy Morgan, our Web of Light astrologer. This is for people who would like to start to understand astrology, their own chart, and how they can use it. Again, all of this stuff is on Facebook.com/MyDrKevin, among other places. But under tonight's radio show, all of these things are listed and how to get in touch with us. If you have any questions, you may call 202-570-7057. That's 202-570-7057. On October 5th, we have a peek at numerology with Angie. Angie, would you like to flash us your number?
Oh, yes, the numbers are good. On that date, we actually are going to, I will be showing you the basics of the numerological aspects. We develop and look at your life path. This is something that's going to be very simple, very easy to comprehend. It's all easy addition. There's no multiplication, there's no division, all addition. It's about the size of it, but it's working with your numbers to see where your life path is, what you can do for your soul path, the basic small pieces of numerology. So I call it a peak because that's going to be the beginning. In another month, I'll be starting to do the actual full-based numerological classroom, which will conspire of quite a few sessions and bring you into the more detailed pieces of numerology. However, this piece that I'm doing here is open to adults and children, probably from 12 above. A very wonderful evening or daytime, whichever I do it, it's just a wonderful time to experience what numerology is about and how much it actually influences your life.
And that's on October 5th from 6 to 9. Now, on October 7th and 8th, over that weekend, I'm doing a transformation weekend. Transformation is a game I came across almost 25 years ago. And my former business and spiritual partner, Dara Jane, and I discovered that it was much more than a game and that you could do much more with it. And over 20 years, we on a regular basis, there was a time when we would do it a couple times a year. It was a great way to mark your progress, to see how you had moved, to clarify your thoughts, and to keep yourself honest. I'm going to be teaching the class that weekend. It's called Transformation Weekend. We're only looking for 4 to 8 people to come. It's a very small class, and we encourage you to come in pairs so that I can actually teach you the strategy of how the two of you and your partner that you come with, or maybe you will meet a partner that you can work with there if you don't have somebody that will come with you, that will be able to help you do this for the foreseeable future as a great marker in time of your spiritual journey and growth. Again, that's October 7th and 8th. On October 16th, I'm doing Managing the Gift of ADD, ADHD. It's a little introduction class about the work I do. It's from 7 to 9:30. And for those of you who have not heard me say this, I look at ADD as part of the evolutionary process, broadening the bandwidth of humanity, not a disease, disorder, or disability. This class is going to talk to you about why it's a gift, how to get away from the disability label, how to grab the diffability label, and how to help yourself or those that your loved ones with ADD. On October 17th is the Lost Steps of Reiki. The Lost Steps of Reiki is based on my book called The Lost Steps of Reiki. 5,000 years ago, there was a Tibetan shaman named Wei Chi who has been speaking through me for over 20 years now. And he defines what we call, or got here as Reiki, as the process of empowering one to heal oneself. In November 4th, 18th, December 2nd, 16th, January 18th from 10 to 3 is the Basics of Numerology. It's a 5-part intensive. Angie, would you like to speak on that a little bit?
Yes, and that's the big one. In that beautiful class that I do, you will learn from the basics all the way to the nitty-gritties of everything that you need to know about numerology. And while you're doing this, we will actually be making your chart, numerological chart, to have for yourself. And also we'll be enticing you to do some charts for others as practice time, because it's going to have actual homework to it. It's actually going to be sessions that are going to be very intriguing, very thoroughly looking into what to do with all the numbers, not only the life path, not only the soul, but all the way into the pentacles, the perimeters, and and onward from there. Very intense class. If you're really wanting to learn about numerology, this is the one to be at.
And then we have coming up, the next thing is November 11th. We have a Reiki 2 class with our Reiki Master Jeff Beeland, where he will take anybody who has gone through Reiki 1 and bring you up to that next level. Add in things like emotional level healing, additional symbols. November 11th, Reiki 2 with Reiki Master Jeff Beeland here at the Wolf Center. Our next new thing, again, every month we have the drumming, every month we have the new moon inspirational meditation, every month we have the intuitive practice group, every month there's the empath monthly support group. You can look at that schedule or go to weboflight.com and hit the wolf that says Healing Center and get all of this. But in January 13th, 14th, and February 24th, 25th, I will be teaching the Wei Chi Level 1. That is 2 weekends for people who want to get involved with Wei Chi, learn how to do a clinic treatment, which will be certified, and it will be something you will be able to offer to people, something that you will actually be able to offer and charge for, and to really learn what Wei Chi means by the process of empowering one to heal oneself. On January 20th, I am going to be doing a Master Level Tarot certification class. This will be 10 to 6 on one Saturday a month for 18 months. That's one Saturday a month for 18 months. Ange, I see these people that say, hey, come on in. I'm going to give you a deck. I might even give you the book or make you go buy it, give you 3 hours, and I'm going to certify you to be a tarot reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what they've basically done is they've certified you to be a sucker. They've sent you off in a direction so that you can turn the card and read the book and have a certificate that's not worth the paper it's printed on. We're talking about a system that has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, that has a ton of depth and meaning, that can really take you on a journey of self-discovery. I'll be using over 30 different decks, and people who actually want to get certified with this will...
I'm actually going to mention, I want to ask you something about this.
Go ahead.
You've been doing tarot for a long time.
Yep.
Is this the first time you finally compiled a class for this, or have you done this in the past? And how long ago did you do it? If you did.
I started doing tarot in 1979. I taught an intuitive tarot class, which was not a certificate-based class, which gave a light overview, and I probably taught it about half a dozen times through the years.
Yeah.
And an intuitive tarot...
I just want people to know that tarot is something you don't just pick up a bunch of tarot and learn about them and then 3 months later get the class, especially the 3-hour class. In other words, it took you a while to get all that detail so that you could actually give this type of a class to people. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing
and
that
that's
up.
What, yeah.
And I think that's
your 3 hours.
My intuitive tarot class, which was 4 3-hour classes, everything I taught in there, and people were always thrilled with it. But I was teaching more just the overview. I wasn't going into a deep level class, which is why it was not a certification class. But that is all absorbed into here. That's the last third of this, more or less, is now I've taught you really, I've filled your conscious brain with the tarot and the depth of the meanings and how it varies and why all decks are different and all of these different things, and how to really do spreads and how to really work with people. and professional polish, which they learn in several of the things they teach, how to be a professional spiritual person, because there's an awful lot of spiritual people out there that professionality will never be attached to their name. You know, they may charge, but they're certainly not professionals. And and so then how do I take that? Go ahead.
True spiritual teachers do not teach immediately after they learn something. It takes them years of acknowledging what they've been taught, acknowledging how to feel those pieces, and then finally saying, yeah, okay, I'm ready. Let's see if we can enable others to have the same. But it's not an overnight thing.
Nope. And I did not teach my first Tarot class until I had been doing Tarot for 20 years.
Yeah.
Over 20 years. Because I taught my first Tarot class in, anyways, I can't remember the dates, but I'd been doing Tarot for 20 years before I taught it, at least. Thank you so much, Angie. Thank you for coming on. And
all right, thank you, Dr. Kevin.
She'll be back. Have a good night.
All right.